Good afternoon. It's evening. It's time for yet another NFL Bucky's Mail Day. This is your host, Mike C., of course, and as always, it's Bucky, the star of the show. Say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. Bucky, what in the world do you have in front of you today? Well, as you can tell, it's the Batman popcorn holder. Went to the movie last week. Loved it. Very gritty, very dark. Like I explained in my last video. I forgot to check today what the amount of people have watched it. I think it was 7 or 8. I should have checked. Sorry about that, but check on the comments later. I'll have it for you there. A little slow, but that's okay. We're having it on a Tuesday, which is very weird, but been really busy with free agency. There's a lot of stuff going on. The actual NFL year starts tomorrow, so they can sign all these players. So it's a very busy time in the NFL. The Lions haven't done a lot. Mostly they've re-signed their old players. Their biggest signing so far is C.J. Chark, a wide receiver that was on Jacksonville, has gone crazy with spending. Very fast, bigger wide receiver. Exactly the kind they need. Now, he has been injured last couple of years. I believe he broke his ankle last year. So hopefully he's 100%. But it's a very good signing. The rest are kind of like, average players just to fill in. I don't know why they're hell-bent on doing that, but they re-signed their quarterback, for example. It's like, But the Lions usually aren't very big on free agency. They don't have a ton of money. And they might get one more good player. Quarterbacks out there are still, Deshaun Watson is still up in the air. And it's kind of domino effect for quarterbacks. So the next couple of days, more will fall in place. I don't know about all of them, but more will fall in place. And so it's very exciting. The Hawks, they're still struggling. If I remember correctly, Patrick Kane became the Blackhawks' all-time leading scorer. I hope that's correct. I know he passed Bobby Hull, so I'm thinking he was the number one. And he's having a great year. Unfortunately, the rest of the team, And speaking of the Reds, either trading everybody or just not signing anybody, and I don't know what the hell they're doing, to be honest with you. They're not doing a hell of a lot. But, regular season's still a little bit away, but I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. But keep you informed, see if they make any good moves for once. Other than that, not much else going on. It's nice out today. Little breezy, but not too bad. And tomorrow's supposed to be like 75, which is really nice. And so Suki and I will go for a walk and take care of that. Now, today, we do have a full first round mock draft. And so don't waste too much more time. And now I changed it up a little bit, used a different site. So obviously their top players a little bit different. So there are some new names in here. Some names that are like, should they be number one? First round picks. We'll see. But I don't want to spend a lot of time because it'll be too long and it's not an exciting video. All right, strap it on, baby. Here we go. With the first overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Ikem Ekwonu, tackle from North Carolina State. I thought of, Evan Neal. I've seen a couple of Charles Cross. Now they did sign somebody to a free agent deal. They signed their own tackle, but just a 1-year deal. So I think they'll switch. They'll probably start, Ekwonu at right tackle probably, and then next year switch him over. That's my theory anyway. So I still think they're going to pick an offensive tackle. I've seen a lot of drafts where they've picked Aiden Hutchinson, so we'll see. At number 2, Aiden Hutchinson, tackle or Edge, excuse me, from Michigan. The Lions, I've seen them a lot, a lot of drafts. If they pick, if the Jaguars pick him first, um, they could pick Kyle Hamilton. They could go. Well, they could go Kayvon Thibodeau. They could also trade out of that. I've seen him trade out of the second overall pick, and to like who was the Texans or no the Panthers, and they picked a quarterback, and the Lions got Hutchinson at 6. I don't know about that. We'll see. No trades in this one, by the way. Third overall pick, I've got the Texans picking Evan Neal. Texans need everything. They trade Deshaun Watson. We'll see. It's kind of hard for them because they need so much, but just overall best player, and it'll come into factor in a few of these picks, to be honest with you. At 4, the Jets, I have Charles Cross, tackle from Mississippi State. A lot of tackles in this draft, and I've seen him go first sometimes. And Jets have 2 picks, so they pick the best overall player at the time. The 5th overall selection, I've got the Giants, New York Football Giants, selecting Kayvon Thibodeau, the best overall player. I've seen him all over the board. Some criticisms. It's hard. So much smoke screens and so much confusion at this time. It's really hard to keep everything straight. At number 6, I have the Carolina Panthers, and I went with Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty. I've seen a lot of drafts pick him. They're another team that's very hard to pick for. So they might trade out of it. They might, do something totally different. But as of now, I've got Malik Willis. At 7, I've got the New York Football Giants up again. I've got Tyler Lindenbaugh, center from Iowa. They went from defensive line to offensive line, and I think it's a very good pick for them. Solid, nothing spectacular, but their second pick. At number 8, I got the Falcons, who are rumored now for Deshaun Watson. I've got Drake London, wide receiver from USC. Now he was injured, so he's the number 1 wide receiver. Possible. Falcons are another tough team to pick for, to be honest with you. At 9, with the trade, we've got the Seattle Seahawks picking George Karlaftis, edge from Purdue. They're in need, they traded for a quarterback. Well, I should say they traded their quarterback and got one in return. Is it a stopgap? We'll see. What do we got here at number 10? Number 10, we've got the Jets, and they got Kyle Hamilton. I'll lower this a little bit, Bucky. There you go. That's even better. Too good to pass up. Just best overall player. One of my favorite picks in the entire draft. At number 11, the Commanders, which is still hard to say. I've got Ahmed Sauce Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati. My number 1 overall cornerback, and I just love his name. That's a good reason to pick him. Number 12, I've got the, who is that, Bucky? Oh, the Vikings. I've got cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU. Some have him the number 1. I think the number 2 cornerback. A little iffy in my opinion. He's kind of declined a little bit, but still a very, very good cornerback. At 13, we've got the Cleveland Browns. Player I picked up many times, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from the Ohio State. They're also in the mix for the quarterback, and so who knows? This will change a lot once Deshaun Watson decides where he wants to go. At 14, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. I went for cornerback Trent McDuffie from Washington. They needed a lot, so it was hard to really pick for them. Get best player available. It's boring to say, but that's my opinion. At 15, the Philadelphia Eagles, their first selection, I've got Trayvon Walker, edge from Georgia. Very, very good player. And they have back-to-back picks at 16. I got linebacker Devin Lloyd from Utah. They haven't picked a linebacker in 40 years, blah, blah, blah. But a very good linebacker and really shore up that defense. And they got another pick coming up. So let me cheer, Bucky. At number 17, I got the San Diego Chargers. Went with wide receiver Jameson Williams from Alabama. From Bama. And he's injured right now, but I think he'll be fine by the time the season starts. At 18, the New Orleans Saints, another team in Deshaun Watson. I went with tackle Bernhard Ramen Ramen Noodles from Central Michigan. Wherever they get, they'll need to protect them, so there's a good choice. At 19, the Eagles are up again, and this time went for defensive interior Devontae Wyatt from Georgia. So they went 3 defensive players. Probably not going to happen, but we'll see what happens with them. At number 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers went Jordan Davis, defensive interior. They could go a lot of different directions there. Quarterback they also need. Probably a second-round pick for that. At 21, the New England Patriots went with Chris Olave, wide receiver from the Ohio State. One of my picks I like for the Lions, but can't do all that. And I don't know, they're best available athlete, I think there. 22, the Raiders went with Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas. A lot of people's number 1, and very good pick for the Raiders. At 23, the St. Louis Cardinals select Trevor Penning, tackle from Northern Iowa. He was a beast at the combine, and another team very difficult to pick for. At 24, them Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, I have Zion Johnson, guard, Boston College. They could go defense on that one, but I liked him for the shore up their offensive line a little bit. 25, I got the Buffalo Bills. I have wide receiver George Pickens from Georgia. Not a really popular pick, not a great need. Just someone I thought that the Bills could use a little more firepower. At 26, the Tennessee Titans went with Michigan's David Ojabo, edge. A little bit more pass rush, so he's the best player available at that point. At 27, the Tampa Bay Bucks, who unfortunately Tom Brady is coming back, and I went with Kenyon Green, guard from Texas A&M, so I need to protect him. So good pick for them. At 28, the Packers. This one is totally new here. I went with Sky Moore, wide receiver from Western Michigan, and depending if they re-sign their own player, he doesn't want to be on the franchise tag, so we'll see what happens there. At 29, the Miami Dolphins went with Jermaine Johnson II from Florida State, so he didn't have far to travel. That's a good reason, Bucky. At 30, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs, Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback. Another tough team to pick for. They got, they could go wide receiver, any kind of defense, safety they could go for. At 31, I've got Abraham Lucas, tackle from Washington State. Wasn't really a lot left on the board in this draft, so they need some kind of offensive lineman, so I went with him. And at 32, your Detroit Lions went with Nakobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia. A little undersized, but great side-to-side player. And I didn't pick a quarterback this time because if it stays the way it is, the next team is not going to pick one. And they could, they're losing the fifth-year option there. But they could get a quarterback, Sam Howell or somebody like that with the first pick or second pick of the second round. So that's my draft. And it's probably going to change a lot like today and tomorrow. And certainly by the next time we do this. But wanted to get this out here. And the good thing about my bucket here, you can put, when the draft is done, you can put it in there. And it cost $15 or $14, but it was worth it. Carlos said I could get it, and I've ate too much popcorn, but it's really cool. It's in my room, and I'm really glad I have it, and I'm really glad I saw the movie. All right, Bucky, it's 15 minutes. So, for Mike C, and of course, the star of the show as always, it's Bucky. Say bye, Bucky. Bucky says bye. And we'll catch you later, and take care and stay safe. And we'll catch you down the road. Bye now.